Okay. Good morning. So we will have a case presentation today. To me, with me today will Professor Shibojyoti Ghosh, who is Professor of Surgery at Calcutta Medical College. Dr. Ghosh will take us through this case presentation, and will presented by Dr. Rajendra Kumar Shahu, who is a third year DNB PGT at Ramakrishna Mission Seva Pratishthan. So, Dr. Shahu, we can start.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning, juniors and colleagues. Today, I am going to present a carcinoma of gallbladder. Sir, my patient, Mrs. Y, 55-year-old female, married, residence of North 24 Pargana, homemaker, in profession, socioeconomic status, lawyers, sir, in modified KPS. Sir, my patient was attended OPD with chief complaints of pain abdomen for last 3 months and yellowish discoloration eye and urine for last 15 days. Sir, in history of present illness, she was apparently well 3 months back when she developed gradual onset of dull aching pain in right upper abdomen. Pain was aggravated after taking fatty diet and relief after medication. It was associated with anorexia, nausea, and vomiting. No radiation of pain. No postural or diurnal variation of pain. There is no history of fever. No history of suggestive of metastasis. There is no history of significant weight loss for last 2 months. Sir. Her family members notice yellowish discoloration eye for last 15 days. Yellowish discoloration of eye and urine was progressively increased, and there is no diminution of yellowish discoloration. Patient complain of itching all over the body. Patient is passing clay color stool since the onset of yellowish discoloration eye and urine. No history of hematemesis or passage of black tarry stool. On past history, there's a known case of hypertension, was on medication for last 10 years. So no history of type 2 diabetes mellitus, tuberculosis. So no surgical history, no history of jaundice before this episode, no history of blood transfusion. Then on personal history, no addiction, bladder and bowel regular, sleep and appetite decreased, mixed Bengali diet. Then in obstetric history, there is 2 children, all are breastfed and post-menopausal. Sir, in family history, no similar illness in our family members, no history of malignancy in any of our family members, no history of liver disease. Sir, I go to history of summary, sir. A 55-year-old female who attended OPD with complaints of pain abdomen for last 3 months. Pain was dull, lacking constant pain over right upper abdomen. Pain was associated with nausea and vomiting and with anorexia. Pain was not radiating in nature. There is history of jaundice for last 15 days. No history of hematemesis and melena, but passing clay color stool for same duration. There is a history of significant weight loss for last 2 months. Bladder and bowel habits are regular. Known case of hypertension or medication for last 10 years.
Okay, Dr. Ghosh, we can have some discussion on history presentation.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. First of all,
morning,
I'd like to tell you that I like very much the way you have written the history. So I think all the DNB as well as the postgraduate in MS surgery, they can follow this pattern of history writing, this format particularly. So, so far your history is concerned, I would like to mention one thing that you have written that there is no history suggestive of metastasis.
Yes,
so
sir.
this shows that you are already biased. So while you are seeing a patient and doing the clinical examination, you should keep your mind open. So
Yes,
while
sir.
you written this could be a jolly well benign disease. So
Yes.
unless and until you have some definite history regarding this metastasis, I think you should not write this the suggestive history suggestive of metastasis.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
And can I have the second slide, please? Next slide. Okay, next slide. So I think till now we should keep our mind open, and as the history is relevant, then only the relevant history should be written. So you should not be biased whether it is a malignant disease or not.
Yes, sir.
right? Because
Yes,
you
sir.
are given a topic on obstetric jaundice, that does not mean that you'll have to write there is no history of metastasis,
Okay,
right?
sir.
Well,
Yes, sir.
this could be a benign also.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Uh, Actually, if I go to your history presenting list,
Yes,
you
sir.
see the English should be correct.
Okay,
You
sir.
are saying that patient has developed pain. No one
Yes, sir.
develops pain. Pain is a subjective sensation. You can say the patient felt pain or patient experienced pain. So don't use a language that patient has developed pain on this site. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so that is
Yes,
not
sir.
a right English to use. And then what I like to in the history is you elaborate the pain in one paragraph.
Yes,
You spend one paragraph on the yellowish discoloration,
yes,
and then come to other GI symptoms like anorexia, weight loss, nausea, vomiting, hematosis, melena. And then the
yes,
point of histiocytic metastasis, the point is once you have taken the history, you find that patient has got the pain, upper quadrant pain along with anorexia and significant weight loss. So that is a pointer that this patient may have some other associated symptoms.
yes, sir.
And uh, instead of saying one line, what I already said is you can, when you say, you can say in one line. But otherwise, you take a history: anorexia, weight loss, abdominal distension, any lump in the abdomen patient is feeling, whether she has got a chest pain, cough, hemoptysis. So what I've said is you can go to a systemic review of symptoms, and your defense is I have asked to find out whether the patient got any other systemic symptoms. You may not
Yes,
say initially metastasis.
yes,
You
sir.
keep on asking the symptoms pertaining to other systemic disorder. So you just rearrange the history. Okay,
Okay, okay, sir.
thank you.
Okay, one more point regarding this slide. In the last line, you have written there was history of significant weight loss for last 2 months.
Yes, sir.
I like to just modify this line, because so far theoretically significant weight loss is within last 6 months, not 2 months.
10%. Yes, sir. 10%
Yes.
last.
So I think it's better to write 6 months. Otherwise, examiners will like to ask you a few more questions on this line. So
No,
I
Dr.
think,
Ghosh, Dr. Ghosh, this patient's symptom is for 3 months.
Yes, sir.
These patient's symptoms for 3 months. So everything started from 3 months, and then she noticed the weight loss in 2 months' time. So in that case, she has no symptoms 6 months back.
okay, fine. But to avoid controversy, I think
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can write it.
Okay,
Otherwise,
sir.
it's fine, no problem.
yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay, carry on. Next.
Sir, I have examined my patient with verbal consent in the presence of female attendant in wet lightened room after sir proper exposure. In patient was conscious, alert, cooperative. Her weight is 55 kg, height 160 centimeter. Hydration status well maintained. Her ECOG score is 2. Pallor present and icterus present. Sir, scratch marks present all over the body. Cyanosis, clubbing, pedal edema, general impediment are absent. No signs of liver failure. Sir, her vitals pulse rate 78 per minute in radial artery, normal volume, regular rhythm. Blood pressure sir 136 upon 90 millimeter of mercury in right upper arm supine position. Respirator 14 per minute, half febrile to touch. Sir, on abdominal examination, on inspection, umbilicus, midline, central in position inverted. All the quadrants of the abdomen are moving equally with respiration. No localized fullness seen. No scars, sinuses, and no dilated veins seen over the abdomen. No abnormal arterial pulsation or visible peristalsis. Renal angles are normal. Hernial orifices, including external genital, appears normal. No supraclavicular fossa fullness is seen. On palpation, so there is no local rise of temperature, there is no tenderness in both superficial and deep palpation, liver and spleen not palpable, no renal angle tenderness. Sir, on percussion, liver span is 12 centimeter mid clavicular line, no evidence of free fluid. On auscultation, normal bowel sounds are heard. Sir, on systemic examination, in all are in within normal limits, sir. With and parectal regeneration are also normal, sir. Sir, in my summary, Mrs. Y, 55-year-old female, known hypertensive, attended with complaints of pain abdomen for last 3 months and yellowish discolored eye and urine for last 15 days. Pain was dull lacking and present over right upper quadrant, progressively increasing jaundice. Pain was not associated with fever, no history of melena, hematemesis, ascites, or suggestive of metastasis. Anorexia and significant weight loss was present. No history of similar episode in recent past. No such events or any malignancy in her family members. On general examination, icterus and mild pallor is present. Sir, my provisional diagnosis would be, sir, my Mrs. Y, 55-year-old female, known hypertensive, present with the pain and jaundice, likely to have GB pathology, most likely carcinoma of gallbladder.
No, I think the traditional way of putting the provisional diagnosis like it's a case of obstructive jaundice due
Yes.
to, right? So, would you agree that this is a case of obstructive jaundice?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, first question is why do you say so? Why do you say it's a case of obstructive jaundice?
Sir, as there is a progressive increase of jaundice and there is a pale color stool with yellowish discoloration eye and urine. On general examination, sir, there is a presence of scratch mark all over the body. And
So,
and icterus.
yeah.
Dr. Ghosh, before he goes to the discussion, I would like to emphasize, last day I take a lecture on general survey. You see, it is affable to touch. What does it mean?
Sir, on touch, there is temperature normal, sir.
How you touch can give you patient body temperature? Affable to touch is no point. Understand?
Okay, sir.
You compare the body temperature with your finger, comparing two sides. In general survey, the temperature is the core body temperature.
Yes, sir.
That you cannot say by touch. By touch, you cannot say patient has a temperature 99 or 100. That is not possible. So in general survey, once you say the affable to touch means it is not the body temperature. Okay. In
Yes.
that case, you have to measure, but otherwise say temperature is not recorded. Don't say affable to touch. Second is when you summarize, come to the summary. You see, on general examination, icterus and pallor is present. There is
Yes,
no
sir.
mention about the abdominal examination. This
Sir,
patient is having what?
no positive findings, sir. There is no.
But then you cannot skip. This
Okay,
patient has got abdominal complaint. This patient has got pain abdomen. So in
Yes.
that case, only summarize. It's
Yes,
not
sir.
that you mention only icterus and mild pallor. You have to examine. You have to say on general examination, this is this. On abdominal examination, there is no organomegaly. Gallbladder is not palpable. We have to specify. Patient has got jaundice. In that
Yes.
case, we specify whether gallbladder is palpable or not. Any free fluid in the abdomen, you say no evidence of free fluid in the abdomen. And
Yes.
parectal examination, you said in the system examination. Why? You come to system examination.
Yes, sir.
Parectal doesn't come in system examination. Parectal is a part
No,
of abdominal examination.
Abdominal exam. Yes, sir.
So you see, the history part is very important. Before you pass on to your discussion, examiner will spend some time with the history and examination. So that part you should be very smooth and clear in concept.
Yes, sir.
And other time you emphasize that don't say 55 years old female. We always want to say that 55 years old lady.
Good lady.
Okay. Yes, Dr.
Yes.
Ghosh, please continue.
Yeah, so these are the good points. So I had actually missed it. Thank you, Professor Saha. So next, your diagnosis, right? So first of all, you'll have to define that whether it is a case of obstructive jaundice or not. So you said
Yes,
it's a
sir.
case of obstructive jaundice because of 3 points. All three are here. Patient is having clay-colored stool. Patient is having progressive jaundice. Patient is having itching.
Itching.
And along with that, there may be features of cholangitis, which means patient may have intermittent fever with chill rider, which is not here.
Not here. Yes, sir.
Okay. So next is, you say it's obstructive jaundice. So you'll have to define the level of obstruction. So
Yes,
in
sir.
your patient, what is the level of obstruction you think? Where is the level of obstruction?
Sir, in my case, it is above the, sir, common hepatic duct, sir.
It is
So, like-
infracystic or supracystic?
Sir, infracystic, sir.
Infracystic.
Yes, sir.
You said gallbladder is not palpable. How can it be infracystic?
Sir, around the, sir.
It can happen. You are right. It can happen. But if you think of common things,
Yes.
Usually in infracystic block, gallbladder is likely to be palpable, but not
Yes.
in 100% cases. Agreed.
Yes.
But patient having a obstructive jaundice, gallbladder not being palpable, the first possibility should come to the supracystic
Supracystic.
block. And I don't think you should infer at the beginning it's a carcinoma gallbladder. I did not find any of the points in this patient to suggest it's a carcinoma gallbladder. patient has no history of biliary colic earlier. It's a dull aching pain starting for 3 months, and then gallbladder is not palpable. I think, Dr. Ghosh, what do you feel? Would you agree that he takes a professional diagnosis of carcinoma gallbladder in this patient?
Yeah, so before that, so let's discuss about the differential diagnosis. So what else could be done? So
Yeah.
the level of obstruction is at the
Suppressive.
above the CBT cystic duct junction,
Yes, sir.
right? Or
Yes, sir.
CBT CHD junction. So what are the probable differential diagnosis? So what are the other causes?
Sir, it may be, sir, due to intrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma.
Intrahepatic cholangiosarcoma. So why thinking about the uncommon disease first? So tell us some more common diagnosis.
Sir, sir, it may be if obstructive jaundice, then it may be, sir, periamplar carcinoma, sir. CA head of the pancreas, sir. Then, sir, cholangiocarcinoma.
So you are biased towards malignancy. So can it be cholelithiasis?
Sir, yes, cholecystectomy may be present, but it's not, sir, progressive, sir.
No, sometimes it is impacted. Sometimes this could be progressive, not necessarily. Always it has to be fluctuating jaundice. And what else? So
It's
one could be
it's for
cholelithiasis.
15 days. You have to understand. It's a 15 days jaundice.
Yes, sir.
So what do you mean by progressive? A patient having a stone disease, the jaundice will not fluctuate in 15 days time. Fluctuation takes time.
Yes, sir.
So if you say jaundice for 15 days,
Yes.
you cannot take that point that this is not fluctuating. In 15 days, it's unlikely to fluctuate.
Okay, sir.
So patient having jaundice for 15 days stone disease, the jaundice will go up. And then afterwards, it may fluctuate. So stone disease is a great possibility in this patient. Patient has got pain, it has dull aching pain, even then the right away before the onset of jaundice. You see,
Yes,
here
sir.
the pain is preceded by history of jaundice. So I think we should keep the possibility of benign
Correct.
disease. The point odd against is significant weight loss and anorexia. That
Yes.
is not there in choledochronically. I agree, but at least you should have the possibility that choledochronicity is also a very strong possibility in this patient.
What other benign diseases could be this with such kind of presentation?
Uh, sir, it
So it could be a Meiji syndrome.
Meiji syndrome. Yes, sir.
So it could be a xanthogranulomatous cholecystitis, although that is histopathological diagnosis.
Yes, sir.
We can't say. And okay, so these are the two probable benign differential diagnoses. Now, what are the malignant diagnoses? Malignant cause of obstructive jaundice.
Sir, malignant cause, sir, CA gallbladder, sir, cholangiocarcinoma.
Where? What is the level of cholangio? Which type of cholangiocarcinoma?
Sir, it above the, sir, cystic duct in the, sir, upper part of the CBD, sir.
Where is it commonly?
That has a specific name, specific clinical entity. There is
Sir,
hilar cholangiocarcinoma.
Sir, above hilar or above it may be, sir, hilar cholangiocarcinoma or intrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma, sir.
You should think about the common diseases, right?
Common is
not so
hilar. Hilar is common. Classical
Yes.
tumor.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Uh,
So these are the probable differential diagnosis in such a right.
Yes.
Now you said it's a case of carcinoma of the gallbladder. So why do you say it's a case of carcinoma of the gallbladder?
Sir, from the history, sir, 55 old female, old lady, 55-year, and complaining of, sir, pain abdomen right upper quadrant with progressive jaundice, and these are the findings, sir.
Okay. So there is not okay. You tell me what are the typical clinical findings in a case of gallbladder carcinoma?
Sir, in presentation, sir, they present with, sir, abdominal pain, sir, lump, jaundice.
Lump. Where is the lump?
Sir, in this case, lump is not present, sir.
Okay.
Sir, lump is right upper quadrant, sir. Lump is present. If lump is palpable, then it is right upper quadrant, and the jaundice, abdominal pain, and fever, anorexia, weight loss. These are
What
the
is that lump due to? What is that lump due to, and how is that lump? If you think of a lump in
Yes.
the gallbladder
Yes, sir.
because of a distal obstruction,
Yes, sir.
vis-a-vis the lump because of its malignancy in the gallbladder,
Yes,
do you
sir.
find a difference in the lump once you palpate?
Yes, sir. If, in palpation, there is a sir pyriform shape lump. It is irregular.
Pyriform.
Yes, sir. Pyriform in shape, irregular. Surface is uneven and moving with respiration. So these are the findings, sir.
No, what I'm saying is a gallbladder which is palpable because of a distal obstruction
Yes, sir.
vis-a-vis a gallbladder which is the seat of a malignant gallbladder.
Yes, sir.
Will it be same or different?
No, sir. If it is not a malignancy, then it will be, sir, a smooth surface, margin surface smooth, a regular border, and we cannot insinuate finger between the right costal margin and the gallbladder.
You see, I think you are not describing it properly. You see, a distended gallbladder because of distal obstruction
Yes, sir.
Hello.
will be a smooth gallbladder
Yes, sir.
with regular margins.
Yes, sir.
Other points are same as other gallbladder lump. But
Yes,
if
sir.
you think of is a carcinoma in the gallbladder,
Yeah, we-
gallbladder will be irregular,
Yes, sir.
firm to hard in feel. Margin may also become irregular. So other points are same as a gallbladder lump. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And how do you think the pain history in gallbladder carcinoma is? What is the classical pain history you may have in a patient who has got gallbladder cancer?
Sir, in maybe, sir, there is acute acute pain abdomen upon chronic pain abdomen, or there is a dawlaking pain, uh, or intermittent, sir, acute pain. So these are the and maybe, sir, the to the radiation to the back is present, sir. Sir, upon carcinoma gallbladder, if there is acute cholecystitis occur, then it will present with, sir, acute features of acute cholecystitis. Otherwise, sir, dawlaking pain over right upper quadrant, sir.
Classic description is patient may have a recurrent drugs of biliary colic in the past. Number one. Number two is patient was having pain of biliary origin because of stone disease, and there is recent change in behavior of this pain. That means this pain now become dull-aching, constant, continuous. So there is a change in behavior of the biliary colic pain. So these are the classic history of pain in patient with carcinoma gallbladder. Okay. Yeah, Dr. Ghosh.
So classically, gallbladder presentation of gallbladder carcinoma is a gallbladder lump, which is hard in consistency. So that makes a differential diagnosis of the level of obstruction,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So
Yes, sir.
if the and that type of your diagnosis, if the gallbladder consistency of the gallbladder is soft to firm, then the level of obstruction is at the lower level of common bile duct, in which case your provisional diagnosis could be carcinoma of the head of the pancreas or carcinoma of the or periampullary carcinoma
Periampule carcinoma.
or lower end of cholangiocarcinoma. So three diagnoses could be made if the gallbladder is firm, soft to firm, right?
Yes, sir.
And obstructive jaundice without palpable gallbladder, that means the level of obstruction is likely to be above the
Above the
level of cystic duct
Yes,
CVD
sir.
function, right?
Yes, sir.
In which case, it could be carcinoma of the gallbladder extending or infiltrating into the common hepatic duct junction, or could be cholangiocarcinoma. So these are the common diagnosis in case where gallbladder is not palpable in case of obstructive jaundice. Okay.
Yes, yes, sir.
So you should keep these things in your mind before you make a provisional diagnosis for obstructive jaundice, malignant obstructive jaundice. All right. So how would you like to proceed in this patient?
So I will do, sir, liver function test, and I will go for, sir, ultrasonography of the whole abdomen, sir. To
Okay. So to be more precise, you'll have to say that I want to confirm biochemically that it's a case of obstructive jaundice.
yes,
So you will go for the assessment of the parameters of liver function test, and after that, if it is a malignant cause, you like to see the level and the nature of
nature
obstruction,
of the obstruction.
right? By
Yes,
doing abdominal ultrasonography.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in liver function test, what are the changes in the parameters?
Sir, in this case, the parameters are, sir, total bilirubin will increase with conjugated bilirubin will increase. Then liver enzymes will mildly increase. Alkaline phosphatase will highly increase, and GGT is also increase. And sir, albumin and globin ratios are may reverse, sir.
Right. Then you want to do in abdominal ultrasonography, right?
Yes, sir. To
So
know,
what are the things you like to assess in abdominal ultrasonography?
sir, in abdominal ultrasound, I will know about the, sir, the organ of the origin, and any presence of, sir, metastasis, any presence of ascites, any other organ involvement, and the any if it is, sir, gallbladder carcinoma, then we know about the, sir, involvement the wall thickness, or any stone disease can be, sir, identified with gallbladder USG, sir.
Okay, you tell me the typical abnormalities in the ultrasonography that may be suggestive of gallbladder carcinoma.
Sir, there is a there is a thickening of the gallbladder wall,
How much,
irregular thickening.
how much thickening is significant? How much
Sir,
thickening
sir,
of gallbladder is significant?
more than, sir, 3 millimeters, sir.
No, usually 4 millimeter. Nowadays changed to 5 millimeter. 4 or 5 millimeter, more than that.
Okay, sir.
Then
And then irregularity of the wall, sir.
irregular focal thickening.
Focal thickening.
Okay.
And there is a wall, wall infiltration can be, sir, identified, sir.
Loss of fat plane between the
Yes.
gallbladder and the liver.
Yes, sir.
Right. And
Any presence of, sir, other features of ascites or
obvious mass in the gallbladder.
metastasis.
Obvious
liver
mass in the gallbladder.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Any stone disease, sir, can be identified also.
Yeah, I am talking about the points in favor of malignancy of gallbladder.
Okay, sir.
And significant lymphadenopathy
Yes,
in
sir.
the periportal regions.
Yes, sir.
Right. So all these are the points suggestive of carcinoma of the gallbladder.
Yes, sir.
Right. So what else you will assess? You said you'll see the nature of obstruction, the gallbladder, lesion. You said ascites. You said lymphadenopathy
Yes, sir.
and liver metastasis.
Yes, sir.
Right. So all these can be assessed by
Sir,
ultrasonography.
yes, sir.
Okay. Suppose in your case, it says there is a lump there is a mass in the gallbladder neck region.
Yes, sir.
Right, which has infiltrated into the common hepatic duct.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, what is your next? What you will do next?
Sir, then I will go for, sir, MRCP to know the biliary duct canaliculi or channels, about the infiltration and the wall of the CBD and the cystic duct and CBD involvement, sir, and any dilatation of the common hepatic duct or intrabiliary radical, sir. Then I will go for CCT whole abdomen for staging of the disease to know the
Wait.
okay,
So
sir.
once your ultrasonography is suggestive of gallbladder carcinoma,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
right? So what is your next goal so far the management of this patient is concerned, or
If
how
we
do
manage,
you,
then I will go for staging of the disease. Then I will go for CCT of the whole abdomen.
Yes. Don't say all investigation. Don't say everything. The approach should be
CCT triple phase CCT whole abdomen, sir.
No, what is your approach? See, it's a problem and you are going to solve the problem for this
Yes,
patient.
Yes, sir.
Right. So
Yes.
for this, you'll have to simplify things. So
Yes,
first
sir.
thing, when you ultrasonography, if it says that it's a case of gallbladder carcinoma, suspected of gallbladder carcinoma,
Yes, sir.
next thing we are supposed to assess whether it is operable or
Yes.
inoperable.
Yes, sir.
Right. Then we divide it into operable gallbladder carcinoma and inoperable gallbladder.
Yes, sir.
So your approach would be different if it is an operable gallbladder carcinoma, and it will be different if it is an inoperable gallbladder carcinoma.
Yes, sir.
right? So can you have I mean any idea from the ultrasonography that this is a case of inoperable gallbladder carcinoma, which is a most common presentation?
Yes, sir. If it is a multiple liver mets present, sir, if there is ascites also present, then it is inoperable from USG criteria, sir.
And gross
Yes.
lymphadenopathy.
In lymphadenopathy, sir, USG, sir, will not detail tell about the sir, lymphadenopathy,
Why
sir.
not? Why not? You don't get a lymphadenopathy report from a sonologist.
Yes, sir, but it is better, sir, from CCT whole abdomen,
Don't
sir.
argue. Don't argue. Don't argue. This is also a point in ultrasonography. He may have
Okay, sir.
extensive lymphadenopathy. That is also a point in favor that is advanced disease.
Okay, sir.
Professor Shah, can you be a little bit close to the microphone? I can't hear
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. What I'm saying is he should not skip saying lymphadenopathy also in ultrasonography. Gross lymphadenopathy can be picked up in ultrasonography.
Yes.
So if it is a liver mets, multiple liver mets, or the gross lymphadenopathy, particularly in the periportal region, or more obvious if it is in the aortocaval region,
Yes,
so
sir.
would you like to go for CCT of this in this patient?
No, sir. Then I will go for sir laparoscopy. Sir, if there is ascites, sir, repeat the question, sir.
No, if the
Ultrasound report has shown advanced disease.
Yes, sir.
What is next?
Then, sir, we'll go for sir diagnosis, tissue diagnosis, because it is inoperable, sir. Then, sir, we'll go for sir FNSC, ultrasound.
Sarah has asked, will you do a CT scan? This is a very, very catch question for all examiners. When you will not advise CT scan for evaluation? The answer
Sir,
is, if you have a very advanced disease ultrasonography, you
then
don't think
no proceeds to CT scan, sir.
that cost you 15,000 rupees.
Yes, sir.
So patient is not going to gain.
Yes,
What
sir.
should the next is the next question. But usually
Then I will
CT
go
scan is
for
not required.
tissue diagnosis, sir, by FNSC, sir.
yes, so we can go for FNSC in this
Yes, sir.
patient. Why FNSC? Why you want to do FNSC?
To confirm my sir diagnosis, that is a
So only that, only confirmation of the diagnosis.
yes, sir.
So after confirmation of diagnosis, what you like to do in this case of advanced
Sir,
disease?
if advanced is, then sir will go for sir chemotherapy, sir.
Yeah,
Uh,
then, so you can go. You like to go for chemotherapy, but before chemotherapy, this is a jaundice patient.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will go for palliation of jaundice and palliation of pain, sir. In this case, sir.
No, how you do palliation of jaundice? You'll have
Yes,
to
sir. We go for sir endoscopy, sir. ERCP, sir. ERCP got a stenting, sir. We go for some metal stent.
ERCP stenting in case of carcinoma gallbladder where there is proximal obstruction at the level of CHD.
Then,
Most of
sir,
the
in
time
the,
it is not feasible.
okay, sir.
Then what do you do?
Then, sir, we'll go for percutaneous transfer PTBD, sir.
Yeah, very good. So we can go for PDVD.
Yes, sir.
And PDVD and sometimes nowadays internalization of the cannula can be done.
Yes, sir. Internal drainage, sir.
And then when chemotherapy could be started?
Sir, as it is inoperable, sir. Sir, then go for sir chemotherapy, sir. After sir jaundice, the decrease of jaundice.
How much? Which level? Because the medical oncologists, they will like to get down the bilirubin level below 3 milligram %. Then they can initiate chemotherapy, right? Because all these chemotherapy drugs are hepatotoxic.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now suppose your case it is a operable gallbladder carcinoma.
Yes, sir.
Right, now what will be your approach?
Sir, if it is operable, then I'll go for the staging CCT whole abdomen to know the operability in the any organ of involvement, any sir details about the lymphatic, sir, and is for staging, sir. I will do the CCT whole abdomen, and before OT on the OT day, I will go for laparoscopic staging, sir, because some meds are missed by CCT whole abdomen, sir.
Better to say nowadays MDCT instead of CCT, you will better say
MDCT. Yes, sir.
right? Because in MDCT, particularly in the hepatobiliary region, we are also very much interested to see the vascular anatomy, which can be seen in MDCT only.
Yes, sir.
Right? In CCT, you can't see the vascular anatomy properly.
Yes.
So that is very important.
Okay, one question, Dr. Shahu.
Yes, sir.
What is the cause of jaundice in a patient who has got carcinoma gallbladder? Because you find, if you say the site of disease in the gallbladder,
Yes, sir.
the commonest site is fundus,
Yes,
next is
sir.
the body.
Body, then, sir.
So what do you explain, how do you explain appearance of jaundice in a patient who has got carcinoma gallbladder?
Sir, is a direct involvement of the gallbladder compressing the common hepatic duct.
Mass in the fundus.
Mass in the fundus, then it is lymphatic, sir, obstruction of the lymph portals. Lymphatic, sir. Lymphatic metastasis, obstruction of the portal, sir.
Yeah. So obstructive jaundice is not a very common presentation of carcinoma gallbladder.
Yes, sir.
It happens when there is a mass in the neck of the gallbladder, where there is early infiltration of the bile duct, or it by lymphatic spread.
Lymphatic,
Okay,
yes, sir.
carry on.
Yes.
Next.
So okay, so so what are the other type of presentation of gallbladder carcinoma?
Sir, in other type presentation, sir, it may present with only pain and lump, or with pain and lump, anorexia and weight loss. Sir, these are the, sir.
No, this is one type that patient presents to the OPD either with jaundice or without jaundice, and lump or without lump.
Yes,
Right,
sir.
this is
Yes,
one.
sir. Yes.
So what are the other ways of getting patients of
Dr. Shahu, this is a
Yes,
very
sir.
good question by examiner.
Yes.
I will approach the question in a nice way.
Yes.
He asks, what are the other presentations? So if you take the patient of carcinoma gallbladder presentation,
Yes, sir.
you can classify patient to different groups. The first group is patient can present with symptoms and signs of chronic stone disease.
Yes, sir.
That is one group.
Yes.
Okay.
Other, sir, incidental finding can.
That is incidental.
Yes.
Patient is presenting with symptoms and signs of stone disease.
Yes, sir.
No suspicion of malignancy.
Yes, sir.
You get a surprise from pathology. That is one.
Yes.
Second is patient with carcinoma gallbladder can present with acute cholecystitis.
Yes, sir.
And subsequently diagnosed patient has gallstone disease and malignancy.
Yes.
Third is patient can present with general symptoms and signs. No disease specific symptoms of biliary tree. That means patient can just present with anorexia and weight loss and
Yes, sir.
weakness.
Yes.
Fourth group of patient, they can present with symptoms of metastasis like enlarged liver, ascites. Okay.
Yes. Sir, it is in gallbladder carcinoma. Is it possible, sir, to present with metastasis, sir?
Yes. Yes. A lot of patients present with metastasis, ascites, nodular liver.
Okay.
And then there is a group of patients who can present with obstructive jaundice early. You see, there are different groups, distinct groups of patients who can present with carcinoma gallbladder. Dr. Ghosh, any connection problem? Dr. Ghosh? I think he has lost connection.
Yes, sir.
Milind, can I ring sir once? So these are the various ways a patient of carcinoma gallbladder can present.
Yes.
This is a patient who has presented with jaundice.
Yes, sir.
So what does it indicate? A patient of carcinoma gallbladder presenting with jaundice indicates what? It's
Sir,
suggestive of
so compression of the, sir, cystic duct or metastasis, lymphatic
Yes.
metastasis with the.
So if it is a tumor arising in the fundus or body of the gallbladder, that indicates it's an advanced disease.
Yes.
Except when the disease in the neck of the gallbladder, then obstructive jaundice may be a
Yeah.
early presentation.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, presence of jaundice in carcinoma gallbladder usually indicates an advanced disease. Okay, so you
Yes,
have
sir.
done a CT scan and the diagnosis was carcinoma gallbladder, and imaging wise it was a operable situation.
Yes, sir.
Do you like to have any study on tumor markers?
Yes, sir.
What?
Sir, I will go for, sir, CA99 and CEA, carcinoma antigen. To the initial diagnosis, it will help in further follow-up, sir.
So how CA99 is helpful in diagnosis?
Sir, if it is a more than, sir, 4, uh, uh, sir, in some books, sir, it is more than 20. It is, sir, in 80% cases, it is carcinoma chances, sir.
Nee, how it helps?
But to further follow up, sir, only, sir, for
No, follow-up is different. If you find at diagnosis CA99 is more than 50
yes,
or
sir,
around 100,
yes,
that usually indicates a advanced disease. And that is one indication for doing a diagnostic laparoscopy.
lepers.
Even if you find this operable situation, a diagnostic laparoscopy is indicated in patient who got a carcinoma gallbladder. So this is a patient who have worked up. You have a situation that this is likely to be operable situation.
Yes,
So
sir.
what's your plan? If you have a patient in front of you who is having a disease and you think this is a candidate for a curative resection,
Yes, sir.
how will you proceed?
Then I'll fitness. I'll take fitness for general anesthesia, sir. In all the investigation for general anesthesia, with including LFT, all sodium, potassium, electrolytes, and urea creatinine with chest X-ray, ECG, echo, and PT-INR. After the anesthesia fitness, I will with
How will you optimize the patient
yes,
before you take the patient for surgery? What are the different specific things you should address before you take the patient for surgery?
yes, sir.
Specific points, not the general preparation. Specific points for a patient who has got obstructive jaundice.
Yes,
What are the things you address before you take the patient up for surgery?
sir, I will, sir, go for, sir, fluid management, sir. I'll go for, sir, add, sir, glucose, as there is a maybe present with, sir, liver derangement, and I'll go for the injection vitamin K, as there is a derangement, sir, liver. Uh, uh,
You have to address each of the points. You already mentioned patient has got pallor,
yes,
Icterus plus,
yes,
pallor plus.
yes, sir.
So if the patient has got a pallor and the patient has hemoglobin of less than 8, you should optimize the patient giving blood transfusion.
Yes,
Number one. You said the patient has got jaundice,
yes, sir.
and is this jaundice is obstructive jaundice? And how do you know patient has got coagulation abnormalities?
Sir, I'll go for, sir, PTI.
Yes. If the
Uh,
PTINR is prolonged, then you contact with the patient vitamin K.
K injection. Yes, sir.
You have given vitamin K for 5-7 days,
Yes, sir.
but this is not getting corrected.
Yes, sir.
What is the implication?
Then I'll go for, sir, fresh
What is
present
the
plasma.
implication? Why it happens? You have given the patient vitamin K for about 5-6-7 days,
Yes,
but
sir.
the PT is not getting corrected. What does it mean?
Sir, the clot, sir, there is a derangement in clotting profile, sir.
For clotting profile, you have given vitamin K because
No, sir.
vitamin K is a deficient factor in patient obstructive
Yes, sir.
jaundice.
Yes, sir.
Not getting corrected. What does it mean? This means that patient has got associated hepatocellular dysfunction.
Yes, sir.
You have given the vitamin K, the liver has to be normal before
Yes,
it
sir.
synthesizes all the coagulation factors. So if on giving vitamin K, the function is not coming back to normal, then you have to think that patient has got hepatocellular dysfunction. Then what do you do in that situation? How do you correct?
Then I'll plan, sir, fresh present, in future,
Yes.
fresh present.
So with the vaginal plasma. So
Yes, sir.
address each of these.
Okay.
Next is, these are the patients who are chronically dehydrated.
Yes, sir.
How do you correct?
Then I'll go for, sir, electrolyte checkup, and there is a, sir, urine output monitoring.
Yeah, Dr. Ghosh, Dr. Ghosh, come. I was asking him how you will he prepare a patient for surgery.
Yes,
So
yes.
he has addressed vitamin K, and I said him to address his dehydration also, because dehydration is a detrimental for post-op. What else for optimization?
Then I'll go for, sir, transfusion, sir, glucose as 5D or 25D, to
You give
nutrition, proper
25D
nutrition.
routinely for all patients.
Sir,
You give
proper
this patient
nutrition.
25D for all patients. You don't give 25D is a very hypertonic solution, thrombophlebitis. You don't give 25D. You give the patient oral glucose.
Or
Oral glucose, don't give 25D. That is not required unless patient is hypoglycemic. What else? You address more important points. Does this
Uh,
patient need antibiotics?
Yes, sir. Then I will after that I
Why?
will go
Why he need
because
antibiotics?
there's a bile duct obstruction. There is chance of sir cholangitis and there is increased chance of infections. So you will go for sir antibiotics, sir.
Okay.
Third.
So Dr. Ghosh, preparation is done. You just carry on.
So what is your plan? I mean, before that, you tell me the different types of surgery that can be advocated for carcinoma of the gallbladder. What are the different types of surgery that is used at present day?
Sir, sir, if it is T1A, there is simple open cholecystectomy, laparoscopic cholecystectomy, or extended cholecystectomy, or sir, radical cholecystectomy can also be done, sir.
For T1A radical cholecystectomy.
Sir,
For you said for T1A.
no, not sir T1A. For T1A, we can go sir simple cholecystectomy by laparoscopy or open method. And other operations are like sir extended cholecystectomy or radical cholecystectomy can also be done, sir.
What is extended cholecystectomy and what is radical cholecystectomy?
Yes, sir. In extended cholecystectomy, there is a excision of the CBD with cystic duct and 2 to 3 centimeter wedge of the gallbladder fossa, including lymph node around the pericholecystic and pericholedocal with choledocal hepatoduodenal ligament, sorry, on the lymph nodes around the hepatoduodenal ligament, sir.
So this is extended cholecystectomy. And what is radical cholecystectomy?
Sir, in radical cholecystectomy, there is including extended cholecystectomy with, maybe sir, there is removing sir 4B or 5 or 8 segment of the liver.
Eight.
You are confusing and mixing up everything, right? So first is the radical cholecystectomy. What is the other name for radical cholecystectomy? It is named after some surgeon.
Sir,
Yes, very good. So it's also known as Glen's operation.
Glen's operation, sir.
G-L-E-N, Glenn.
Yes,
Glen's
sir.
operation. Right. So radical cholecystectomy typically consists of excision of the gallbladder along with a wedge, 2 centimeter wedge of the surrounding liver tissue from the segment 4B and part
And
of segment 5,
yes, sir.
along with excision of the lymph nodes along the hepatoduodenal ligament, along the superior pancreatoduodenal ligament, and so up to this.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is typical radical cholecystectomy. And what is extended cholecystectomy? That is, along with the radical cholecystectomy, if you excise the common bile duct, plus on the lymph node side, if you excise the lymph node on the right of the celiac trunk, lymph nodes of the right side of the celiac trunk, then it is called extended cholecystectomy, right?
Yes.
And plus organ excision. If there is infiltration to the colon, or you can do a extended organ excision.
So along with that, with this, there is another options. Instead of taking wedge, we can go for formal segment 4B and 5.
Yes, sir.
Right. So there are controversies regarding the excision of segment 4B and 5 versus wedge excision. Somebody says excision of segment 4B and 5 is more scientific, since there is less blood loss and there is less chance of post-operative biliary leak. Okay.
Yes.
And if suppose in this particular patient who is already having jaundice and most likely the common hepatic duct or more so the right hepatic duct is involved more commonly. So if you want to do curative resection for this sort of patients, the ideal surgery should be extended right hepatectomy along with the radical cholecystectomy. So the term is known as extended right hepatectomy. Okay.
Yes, yes, sir.
Right. So these are the various operations according to the stage of the disease that can be employed. Right. So you tell me, for radical cholecystectomy, what is the first step of radical cholecystectomy? So I think it's taken that you have done the diagnostic laparoscopy, and it seems that it is operable, and you have you are doing open radical cholecystectomy. So what will be the first step?
Sir, in after opening the abdomen, sir, then I'll check up the sir in any liver mets present or not, any acid is present or not.
Right?
Hello, sir.
No. So after doing this, all this ascites, liver mets check. So you'll have to do extended cauterization. You'll have to
Yes,
see the aortocaval groove and look for any lymph node there, right?
yes, sir.
And if the aortocaval lymph node, that is station 12, is present and
Then,
is significant in size, so that should be excised and sent for frozen section biopsy. So if it comes out to be positive, then there is no point in doing any kind of radical surgery, because at that point the disease is already systemic disease. It has spread to the system. It is metastatic disease
yes, sir.
if the aortocaval lymph nodes are involved. And this nowadays, these steps can also be done laparoscopically. If you're planning for laparoscopic radical cholecystectomy, this step can also be done laparoscopically, and you can take samples from aortocaval lymph node and send it for frozen section biopsy. If it is positive, then probably we should not do any sort of curative resection.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So, right.
He has opened the abdomen and he now find it is not resectable.
Yes, sir.
What you can do as palliation?
Sir, for palliation of sir jaundice, I will go for cholecystectomy, sir.
Cholecystogenostomy
Uh,
in a patient of CA
co-
gallbladder?
नहीं sir, cholecystectomy, sir. Or
Cholecystogenostomy.
hepaticojejunostomy. If there is involvement of the nodule, then we will go for hepaticojejunostomy.
You see, this patient has got a carcinoma gallbladder infiltrating the bile duct.
Yes, sir.
So is it easy to find the area in the CBD to do a bypass?
Yes. Sir, depending upon sir involvement. Sir, if it is margins at 2 to 3 millimeter is available from the margin of the carcinoma, then we'll go for sir hepaticojejunostomy, sir, to bypass the.
What is more commonly described bypass for patient having carcinoma gallbladder is not hepaticojejunostomy, something else. That is segment 3 bypass. You see, in a patient of carcinoma gallbladder, if you go up and find the segment 3 duct, that is an area which is usually not involved in carcinoma gallbladder. So the ideal area for bypass will be a segment 3 bypass, not a hepatic or choledochojejunostomy. And cholecystectomy is not at all. Okay.
Right. So always remember one thing: the palliation by means of radiological procedures. That means either ERCP stent, which is difficult, or PTVD. Surgical bypass is, if feasible, if the patient can tolerate. So
Yes,
that
sir.
is the quality of life in this patient who had surgical bypass is much better than the quality of life who are having radiological bypass, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
if feasible, if the patient can tolerate and if the surgical expertise is available, then segment 3 bypass would be better than the
Yes,
radiological intervention by means of PDVD or ERCP stenting. Okay.
sir.
And well, so in advanced cases, other than palliation of the jaundice, so what are the other symptoms that needs to be palliated,
Sir,
and how?
yes, sir. Palliation of sir pain
Mhm.
by celiac ganglion block, sir, by giving ethanol injection.
Right.
Uh, uh, uh,
What other symptom patient may have which needs palliation? Advanced gallbladder carcinoma can infiltrate the
Sir, if it is infiltrating the sir duodenum,
yes.
then sir the gastrojejunectomy can
So either a endoscopic stenting or
Yes.
or
or open
gastrojejunectomy. So you
gastrojejunectomy.
need to palliate.
Yes, sir.
Palliation will depend on the patient presenting symptom and the findings.
Yes, sir.
Right, and if there is ascites, we can do, and if the patient is having respiratory distress, you can also do paracentesis. And also sometimes you need to take care of their mental agony, right? So patient may need some antidepressant treatment. So in general, these are the various aspects of palliative treatment for gallbladder. In fact, in any carcinoma, particularly related to gallbladder carcinoma. Okay. So
What is the role of adjuvant therapy following a curative resection? What is the
Sir,
role of adjuvant therapy in gallbladder cancer?
sir, in after sir operation, if you give adjuvant chemotherapy by gemcitabine and cisplatin, we can alleviate the pain and
For pain. Gemcitabine and cisplatin as adjuvant is for given for pain. You have done a curative resection.
yes, sir. Sir, decrease the chance of
Does all the patient require chemotherapy following curative
sir.
resection?
Actually, sir, there is a not much more benefit from chemotherapy, sir. In the case
there
of
are indications for chemotherapy, definite indications for chemotherapy. When you have to give chemotherapy.
sir, if the R0 resection is not possible or margins are positive, and there is a chance.
If the patient has got disease which is T2 onwards, and if I got lymph node metastasis, in that case, they are the patient who are benefited by giving adjuvant chemotherapy. Okay. Now, you find the patient has got imaging-wise some advanced disease. Is there a role of neoadjuvant chemotherapy in gallbladder cancer?
Sir,
is there a concept called neoadjuvant chemotherapy and reassessment?
Actually, sir, I will not find sir in your role of neoadjuvant chemotherapy in carcinoma gallbladder, and some books
Dr.
also.
Ghosh?
Sir,
yeah, there are some sporadic trials which claim that there are some benefit, and sometimes you can downstage the disease and you can do curative resection.
It's a postgrad exam, na? You should be always open to discussions, because now this is also coming up in some situations where you find there is radiological evidence of a locally advanced disease, there is loss of flat pain between the gallbladder and the duodenum or the colon. You have some lymphadenopathy. There is a role for giving neoadjuvant chemotherapy, gemcitabine-based chemotherapy, and then you can do a reassessment. Okay, so
yes.
it's not undescribed. There is some description in literature about neoadjuvant chemotherapy. Okay.
But sir, one question, sir.
Yeah.
They also tell that there is not any benefit, any proven benefit, sir. Also written, sir.
No, that may not be for the 100% patients, right?
Yes,
but there may
okay,
be
sir.
a few patients who may be benefited. In fact,
Okay.
I know one of a patient who is a relative of in one of the postgraduate students in medical college, Kolkata. Then she had advanced disease, so I referred the patient to All India Institute, and they advocated, in fact, referred to GBPAN. They went to GBPAN under Dr. Anil Agarwal, and they gave adjuvant chemotherapy, and after that it was downstage, and they did some curative resection, and patient was doing well for next 2 years. So sporadically, some of the patients
Yes. You can say the overall survival in the large series are not being altered.
Yes,
but you cannot say that this is not a feasible option.
Yes.
This is also a feasible option.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Dr. Maiti, any comment? We are trying to close.
Professor Sir, since we have 2 minutes left, now just quickly a few questions regarding the anatomy of gallbladder, right? So why the gallbladder cancer is so aggressive and so easily quickly spread to liver? So what is the...
Sir,
Yes.
as there is sir peritoneal is not present over the sir gallbladder fossa,
Before
can
that,
direct.
before peritoneum, there is something else in the gallbladder
What is
wall
that?
itself.
Yes, sir.
Histological
It is muscular mucus and submucous is absent.
Yeah.
There is a quickly
What
involving
about the
all the
muscle
layers.
coat? What about the muscle coat? Unlike intestine, what is the difference in muscle coat between the gallbladder and the intestine? In intestine, you have two distinct muscle layer, circular
Yes,
and
sir.
longitudinal muscle.
Circular longitudinal.
Here, we have only one muscle coat in the gallbladder.
Yes, sir.
So, as such, no submucosa and muscle coat is single layer of muscle coat. So,
Yes,
you have early spread transmurally.
yes, sir. Transparent.
Right. So I think this is one important aspect that you must know in case of gallbladder carcinoma. Yes, Professor Shah.
Dr. Maiti,
Thank
any
you,
comment?
thank you, Professor Saha, Professor
Good morning,
Shibojyoti. Nice to see Shibojyoti. And I see in the screen Dr. Sanjoy Devokshi and Onadi are also present. And Dr. Particular, they are very experienced in gallbladder surgery and hepatobiliary surgery. One few comments I like to make. My advice to the student: don't off and on mention that in some books it is written. Some of my teachers says like that. You just answer. Whatever from where you have gained the knowledge, that is not the question. Don't refer that in some books it is written. And in the history, I don't know whether you have mentioned about the profession. At least some of the gallbladder carcinoma has related to the profession who
No,
works in the rubber industry.
Yes,
You
sir.
should mention in the history. And another important points, I don't know whether you have mentioned history of any surgery in the hepatobiliary region in the past, even in the childhood. For example, in a case of choledochal cyst, the incidence of malignancy is in the remnant part of the cyst is possible, particularly in your case where the lump is not palpable and it is progressing. That history is also very important. In the preoperative preparation, and you should mention also the level of albumin. That is very important in relation to the outcome following surgery. Along with the jaundice and the correction of the coagulation factor, you should also correct the albumin.
Nutrition management.
Nutrition management. These things I like to mention, and and another thing, in our student period we had the learning that if the gallbladder carcinoma is associated with jaundice, the prognosis is always dismal.
Okay.
Nowadays, as Dr. Shibojyoti has mentioned, because of the advent of the good chemotherapeutic management of the gallbladder carcinoma, the response is very good nowadays, and some of the cases, inoperable cases, can be made operable. So that is one of the great advancement in the gallbladder carcinoma. Thank you very much. Very wonderful class. And another important thing I must mention to the student, that in your provisional diagnosis, it should be very precise and perfect. First, you make the diagnosis. In this particular case, the diagnosis should be, as Professor Shibojyoti has mentioned, it should start with the diagnosis. It is a case of obstructive jaundice in a lady of 55 years without jaundice or with jaundice, with a comorbidity of hypertension. Comorbidity will come at the end. Diagnosis should be at the beginning. Okay? And jaundice in a case of gallbladder carcinoma, whether present or not, that should come in the diagnosis. That is my comment. Thank you very much. A wonderful class and discussion. Professor Shibojyoti. Thank you.
Sir, one question, sir, I have, sir. Sir, in some books, sir, it is tell the wedge resection 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, sir.
So it is always controversial, right? So in few books and few authors, they advocate 2 centimeters. Somebody says 3 centimeters, but it hardly matters, right? Whether you say 2 centimeters or 3 centimeters, it's fine.
And sir, one question, sir. If it is a projection section in intra, sir, if it is doubt there is a chance of gallbladder carcinoma, then there is a role of sir projection section, sir. Any role?
No, I couldn't get your question.
Sir, in intra, if you doubt, sir, there is a chance of gallbladder carcinoma. If you send for projection section, that is sir any role in projection section to operate?
Yes. The frozen section is highly valuable. So whenever you have any doubt, particularly in say very early lesions, right? So for very early lesions, now there is a different approach has come up, which is already now, and you will be very proud to know that it is from India. It's called Lucknow approach. Professor V.K. Kapoor, who has devised this approach, it has now come up in textbook, standard textbook. So in a very early gallbladder carcinoma, what we can do, we can take a wedge of liver along with the gallbladder, excise it and submit it for frozen section. So by the time frozen section reports come, say it's around half an hour, we can do a little bit of lymphadenectomy in the hepatorenal ligament. Now, if it comes out to be positive for malignancy, then you complete the operation. And if it is negative for malignancy, then that's it. The operation is over.
Dr. Shibojyoti and to Dr. Onadi and Makhonlal, one query from me. What about your experience presently about the segment 3 anastomosis? In our previous days, we have seen where the stenting was not possible. The only option present was the Langmuir or the segment 3 anastomosis. But nowadays, how frequently you do the operation? Please tell your experience. I have no idea how frequently it is being done now.
There is no doubt that segment 3 anastomosis is needs a lot of expertise. It is not a very easy operation because to find out the segment 3 of left hepatic duct, it is really very difficult, and sometimes the left branch of the portal vein is just below and anterior to the left hepatic duct. So there is always a chance of injury to the left branch of the portal vein, and in that case, it is a really catastrophic situation. So it needs a very high expertise to do this exposure of the left hepatic duct, segment 3, and do the anastomosis. But on the other hand, if the patient can tolerate and if the operation is done without any complication, then it is better than the radiological stenting, because quality of life is good in such patient.
And another thing, Dr. Shibojyoti, I want to get your experience, because you are very highly experienced in this region. So for that reason, I'm asking, what is your experience regarding the sclerosing cholangitis? In this particular case where the lump is not palpable, this case which is being discussed here, the possibility of sclerosing cholangitis is there. What is your experience regarding its incidence, and how we have seen few cases in my lifetime only? I don't know how frequently you get these cases and how you manage.
I'm in general surgery department and it's not a very highly specialized department, so I don't see many cases of sclerosing cholangitis. Of course, I see a lot of cases of gallbladder carcinoma and benign bile duct strictures and periampullary carcinoma and so on and so forth. But sclerosing cholangitis, I don't see much of the cases.
And if the gallbladder lump is palpable in carcinoma of the gallbladder, most of the time the lump is very small in size, small and hard. And as the lump is very small and hard, how frequently the irregularity of the lump is appreciated? Most of the time it is smooth or it is irregular in case of gallbladder carcinoma. Practically, how we appreciate it is really theoretically it should be irregular, but really in most of the cases it is smooth or irregular.
Oh, I think whatever we see is most of the time it is hard and irregular. So,
Yeah.
but ultimately we need to evaluate the patient whether it is operable or not.
Yeah. Acharya, any comment?
Fully agree with Dr. Shibojyoti Ghosh.
Yeah.
That is segment 3 bypass is a difficult one, but if expertise is available, it's much better than stenting. That is number one. And a few other comments. The student has mentioned that under the heading of diet, the patient is having an average Bengali diet. And I know mixed Bengali diet. I think this should be done. And he should mention whether this is a vegetarian or non-vegetarian and an average Bengali diet. Secondly, regarding these investigations, ultrasonography. A sonologist usually when he is doing a sonology, ultrasonography on a patient with obstructive jaundice, if the duct is dilated, the second thing he wants to see is whether the MPD is also dilated or not. If both MPD and biliary channel is dilated, the lesion is at the common junction, that is periampulary. So that should be mentioned in all cases of ultrasonography. Dr. Bose has asked the patient, what are the things you want to see? He should mention this also. Number 3, regarding vitamin K, if the P time INR is high, one should not use vitamin K 110 milligram per day for more than 5 to 7 days. Often it's 3 to 5 days. It's no use using this vitamin K after that, because there is something called tachyphylaxis, and any further doses of vitamin K will not act. That is one thing. And then you will have to go in for replacement. Sorry, fresh frozen plasma.
Yeah.
And so I think these are the points one should know also. And thank you, Professor Shivajyoti, because many, even senior surgeons, use the term radical and extended cholecystectomy very loosely and interchangeably. There's certain differences, and you have very lucidly explained that thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Debakshi is online. Dr. Sanjay Debakshi is online. Sanjay da, you are online. Okay. Okay then. So we finish up today. Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Shivajyoti.
Thank you very
Dr.
much.
Mathi. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Maiti sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.